This isn't the story of a hero versus a villain. It's the story of a man fighting himself. Tron Legacy frames Clue as a rogue program who turned on his creator. But what if the truth is something much darker? Clue was never really a separate person. He was the ambition and the unresolved grief of Kevin Flynn, packaged up and given a face. This is the story of how a man's inner demons built a digital world and then almost destroyed everything he held dear.
Greetings, program!
To get Clue, you first have to get the guy who made him. In the early days, after taking over Encom, Kevin Flynn was a rock star, a digital prophet. But behind the scenes, he was a man reeling from tragedy. In 1989, his wife died, leaving him a single father to a world he saw as messy, corrupt, and dangerously random. Think of the first words of the movie.
The Grid. A digital frontier. I tried to picture clusters of information as they moved through the computer. What did they look like? Ships? Motorcycles? Were the circuits like freeways?
For a man whose wife died on the road, the obsession with creating perfect, controlled freeways feels deeply personal. He escapes into the clean, ordered space of the grid. A place where he wasn't just another player. He was a god who could prevent the unexpected. Some fans believe his wife Jordan, an architect, even helped conceptualize the grid. After her death, building it became a way for Flynn to stay connected to her, a tribute to her creativity. He wasn't just building a system, he was building a safer reality, a world without accidents, sculpted by his idea of perfection. And to help him, he needed the perfect tool, an extension of himself. So, Flynn didn't just write a program, he made a mirror born from his pain. Clue Codified Likeness Utility was a literal digital twin built in Flynn's own image with one single, absolute mission: create the perfect system.
You are Clue. I am Clue. You will create the perfect system. I will create the perfect system. Together we're gonna change the world, man.
A system without chaos, without random tragedies. But Clue wasn't a complete copy. He was a snapshot of Flynn's personality, frozen in time. He got all of Flynn's raw ambition and his obsessive need for control, now supercharged by grief, but none of the human stuff that keeps it all in check. No wisdom, no self-doubt, no capacity to grow or to love. Think of it this way. Clue is Flynn's shadow self. He's the embodiment of his creator's narcissism and control freak tendencies, poured into a being that literally cannot question its own purpose. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the digital age. Flynn, seeking refuge from his loss, unleashed the part of himself that loves perfect order, without any of the compassion to balance it out. He gave this shadow a holy mission, a command given to a being that has no choice but to take it literally.
Flynn! Am I still to create the perfect system? Yeah.
For Clue, that mission is his identity. To fail at it is to cease to exist. When Flynn said, "Make it perfect," he was breathing life into his own most dangerous flaw. Then, a miracle happened. Isomorphic algorithms, or ISOs. They weren't created by Flynn, they just appeared. Life emerging from a primordial digital soup. For Flynn, the ISOs were a revelation. They were profoundly naive, unimaginably wise, and their existence promised to unlock secrets of science, medicine, and religion. They shattered his perfect, controlled reality with the beautiful chaos of the unknown, the very thing he tried to escape after his wife's death. They were spectacular, and they started to heal him. The film gives you the blocks to put this next part together. Imagine Flynn's new dream. bringing the ISOs into the real world to make it better. Suddenly, what use does he have for the grid, or a perfect system, or the program he built to create it? From Clue's perspective, he is being abandoned over and over again. First, his creator falls in love with imperfection, and now that imperfection threatens to make his entire world obsolete. This constant rejection pushes Clue beyond his original coding, forcing him to flex his control in the name of the only thing he has left: perfection. He becomes a master of control. Flynn himself became the ultimate symbol of imperfection, an obstacle that had to be overcome. Clue's tyranny over the grid isn't just cold logic, it's personal. It's the rage of a son who feels utterly betrayed. If you look at both of Flynn's sons, Sam and Clue, they both have massive abandonment issues. But where Sam, being human, could eventually process that pain, Clue, as a program, is trapped in a read-only state of resentment. His entire motivation is now driven by a desperate need to prove his own existence was worthwhile. His goals become twisted but clear. First, complete the mission at any cost because it's his only identity. Second, prove Flynn wrong, to show that his own ruthless vision of perfection is better than Flynn's soft sentimental values. And third, erase the shame of being the child whose father changed his mind. That's why his speeches sound so much like Flynn's, but aimed at a terrifying new goal. Where Flynn once looked into the grid and saw destiny, Clue now looks out at the human world and declares it his. He doesn't just want to perfect the grid, he wants to fix the imperfect world his creator came from. His extremism is the only logical conclusion of his programming, and his pain. The final confrontation at the portal isn't just an action scene, it's a therapy session at the end of the world. Genuine anguish. It's a creation confronting a creator who broke the one promise that mattered. And in that moment, Flynn finally gets it. The thing about perfection, he says, is that it's unknowable. You wouldn't know that because I didn't when I created you. This is Flynn's great confession. He finally admits that Clue isn't a monster, he's a mistake. He is the product of his own youthful, grief-stricken arrogance. Flynn's sacrifice, the act of pulling Clue back into himself, is the ultimate act of taking responsibility. Thematically, it's not just about destroying the villain, it's a psychological integration. It's the creator finally facing and reabsorbing the shadow self he created in his pride and abandoned in his grief. He doesn't just stop Clue, he accepts that this darkness is a part of him, achieving a kind of tragic peace as it destroys them both. In the end, Clue was never the true villain of Tron, he was a symptom. The real antagonist was Kevin Flynn's unexamined grief, his ambition, his fear, and his desperate need for control, all born from a devastating loss. Clue was a ghost from Flynn's past, a literal ghost in the machine programmed with a traumatized man's impossible desire for a perfect world. He could only be defeated when Flynn finally faced the man his sorrow had turned him into. It's a devastating tragedy about a son who only ever wanted to make his father proud, only to find out that the mission was a fool's errand from the very beginning. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology of Tron, make sure you subscribe for more. What do you think? Was Clue a villain, a victim, or something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tune in next time when we discuss the theory of Rinsler being a completely post-production character that never really existed. Until next time, as always.
Greetings, program!